The first session we talked about the importance of having a holistic understanding of faith and ministry and the 4 quadrants of support. In the second session, we talked about the mandates for social justice ministry, how they're an integral part of the prophetic heritage from both the Hebrew prophets and Jesus' words of ministry. And in this third session, which we started last week, we're talking about the finitude of our own perceptions and how we need to be more open to experience and viewpoints of others as a way to expand our awareness.
And to realize that God accepts us and loves us no matter what, if we have faith.
It says, it's hard to admit our mistakes, to see ourselves in a bad light, to acknowledge that we have invested ourselves in beliefs, causes, and pursuits that contradict God's love and violate God's justice. The promise of God's grace, the vision of the waiting Father's outstretched arms ready to receive the wayward child who had squandered his resources, the assurance that nothing on earth or beyond will ever separate us from God's love. These and countless other biblical images stand as ever-present invitations to open ourselves to the search for a broader and deeper truth. That search can both strengthen our faith and embolden us to engage in the public activity of social justice ministry.
For me, grace tends to be the flip side of the coin we're talking about. That idea that God accepts me when I'm wrong. Well, the flip of that is God demands, because of his grace, that I admit I'm wrong.
Knowing that, you can be more open to also to other people or whatever.
At any given moment in history, there is someone stronger than you and someone weaker than you in everything. The issue isn't where you fall relative to someone else. The issue is where you fall relative to what you can and should be doing.
Sometimes people are encouraged to be, everybody's the same, even though they're not the same necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, I think also humility is about people don't necessarily even believe that they're always right. It's about control. You know, they're fearful, so they are a certain way. They give people an unwanted advice all the time because it's about they need to control what's around them because they're afraid.
Example, but how does repentance apply to us today or in our daily lives?
In my younger days, I would always evaluate when I met a person, oh, I don't really like that personality, so I'll stay away, or I don't like his idea or hers. I have found now whenever I have that feeling about a person, I immediately go up and find out a common denominator. You have children, you have teenagers, we know something, and you know, I've learned so much that from someone that I thought I didn't like or that I disagreed with, by being accepting on a certain area.
The open expression of hello, how are you? I want to know you. That's hospitality. It may only be 45 seconds in the foyer, but there have been days where 45 seconds turned my world around.
So when we talk about this idea of social justice, how does hospitality help us in that pursuit?
Are what we are. If we're going to be tolerant, we don't want to really know about the thing that makes you different or might irritate me and be just this minimal thing. But in the notion of hospitality, you put those things up and you invite the person in and you discuss them and learn from them. My thing is, how do you operationalize that in a large scale? How can you build a movement directed toward hospitality, say in our relations with Islamic people today?
This section 3 is about ourselves and how we should be changing ourselves to interact better and to forward this kind of the social justice mission. And that's about listening. Because you're talking more about the public faith, but I almost feel like the section 3 is about what we should do individually. You know, and the quote is that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Think of a time when you really made an effort to listen to someone else, and what did you learn from that experience? Well, thank you, everyone. Next week, Leslie will be leading us.